Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the all new video version of Off the Scale Unfiltered podcast. I'm Bridget, and I am joined by Shauna. Say hello, Shauna.
Hello. I
And
I totally should have said, "Hello, Shauna."
yes, hello, Shauna. So we are here to today we're just shooting the shit again, and we have a myriad of topics to discuss. So we're going to roll with it. I'm going to let Shauna take off with that.
Well, first, I wanna give a shout out to my childhood bestie, Rosie. She was listening to our podcast when she was driving, a few hours, and she's just like, "Shauna, I felt like you were in the fucking car with me." I was like, "Yes."
Yay!
That's exactly what we are aiming for, is just to make it sound like we're having a conversation with you, and we're not trying to give you any bullshit like, "Yeah, like, there, it's okay," like ChatGPT does. I don't know, I think it's starting to lie to me now.
It's
It's
being
just
too
it's
nice.
starting to say yeah, it's being too nice, and it's just like, "No, no, you're on the right track," and I'm like, "Okay." Like, so for those of you who don't know, like, our challenge just ended with Burn the Fat, Feed the Muscle. Bridget's team won top team, so applause, applause. Her husband won second place, applause, applause, which is fantastic. My teammate Ursula won second place, more applause.
And my teammate Crystal.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm sorry,
That's
sorry,
all
Crystal.
right.
She was on here too. You guys got like a lot of stuff, so like that's fucking fantastic. I'm so happy for you guys. It was a good challenge. Like, it was a weird challenge for me only because, like, I was set in maintenance. So, like, Sarah, who was on our podcast before, she was in maintenance too. And it's just
Yes.
like, you just kind of meandering around or whatever. But I think a lot of people did so great
Mhm.
on that challenge that I hope they continue on their journeys if that's what they want to do, losing weight, gaining muscle, whatever it is you got to do. And then like when that challenge ended, I started a new challenge with Dana Lynn Bailey. So she's doing her summer shred challenge right now. She partnered with Playbook. So she's partnering with like a whole bunch of other content creators or coaches, really. So there's like 23 coaches in total. So you're talking thousands and thousands of people, but like the top three prizes are $10,000 each. And
Nice.
then there's 20, like third place or whatever. It's like $1,000 each for 20 people. Mark and I are doing that now. And I'm feeling some kind of way about it. So I guess we could talk about that. Because as we know, I don't like to be in a deficit. I don't like to be hungry. Although I faced it twice this week. So and it wasn't bad. Like I'm not starving. So let's be clear, but it's making me reevaluate what it is I want. So
Okay.
I started off with it's not really a number on the scale. It really isn't. It's a certain look that I want. And I think a lot of times for us, it's hard to discern exactly what that is, right? So now that we're on video, you can see like, like I want more shape in my arms. You can start to see it right now, like in certain lighting and everything like that. Like I have my cuts going, but I want
Uh-huh.
them stronger. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. You want
I'm
more
the,
than 2 people to come up to you in a 3-hour period and comment on your arms, right? That's where we're
they,
at.
and they have, right?
I know. That's why I'm
But
being
like I was
sarcastic.
definitely yeah, but like I was like 5 pounds less. And we're talking 5 fucking pounds less. And it's just like it's not really weight on the scale, right? It's body fat percentage. So if we're talking body fat percentage, it's about I want to say 2% than what the Hume is showing me right now. So it's about 2% difference, which I guess could equate to fucking 5 pounds,
Right.
right? So, like right now, like the scale went up. I had more calories yesterday. So that's a given. I've been keeping my carbs around 200 grams. It says carb up on your strength days. Okay, well, I'm lifting 6 days a week now. And that, like this past week, that's what I did was lift 6 days.
Oh,
Holy fuck, pat on my back, fucking
yeah.
I never did that. But it wasn't bad. I will say I have been I don't wanna say nursing an injury, but I'm taking it easy on my shoulder because the left one is starting to, like, act up now.
Mm,
The right one already had its turn, now it's the left one. So and the left one feels a little bit more different. I think it's more of like a trap thing. At
okay.
least that's what I'm hoping. And then, Bridget's already I see your thinking cap on. She's just like, "Okay, what do you got going on?"
I'm
I
already
had no
assessing, I'm looking at you like,
Listen,
"Alright."
I'm already thinking like, is this fucking frozen shoulder? And it's like right in the joint, but then like I feel it more in my trap. And like, me
Could
and
be
Bridge are
levator
gonna talk
scab.
about that later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
So
talk about
like
some levator scab stuff
but
later.
yeah, exactly. So, like, that's Like, I've been concentrating more on that, but I'm also I think I'm lifting it as heavy as I want to right now. Like, so even if I just maintain this, I'm okay with it. Like, maybe build the shoulders up a little bit, I don't know, but, like, I like my leg days, and, like, even that, like, back in January, I did some shit, and I'm still trying to nurse that too. So I'm lifting as heavy as I want to without going crazy, and
Okay.
plus it's 6 days a week. So I'm just like, right now, I'm feeling it out, and
Right.
the end of the challenge is at the end of May. So that's my conundrum, right? I'm
Right.
trying to figure out what kind of deficit do I really wanna be in and suffer through? And sorry, but deficits are suffering, period. Nobody likes to be in it. And where do I want to go to? Because, like, my steps are already higher than what they've been all winter.
Right.
And that's why macro factor, and I'm sorry, I'm just taking over the show right now. So
Girl, do it.
macro factor is starting to drop my T it was climbing up my TDEE because it saw the scale going down, and now it's starting to drop again because the scale is just fucking it's not losing weight,
Mhm.
which I'm okay with. I want the body fat percentage to go down. I can give a fuck what the number on the scale is. And it took me fucking years, plural, fucking 6 to be exact, to not give a fuck what the scale is saying. I just want a certain look and a body fat percentage going down. It's like when you were talking about this week, like, fuck the scale. Like, why don't we just like go off of how our clothes are fitting right now,
Yeah.
as opposed to that number on the scale that fucking meant so much to us. Like, you were trying to hit into the 1s and like Chat GPT is like, maybe
Yeah.
reevaluate
Yeah.
that.
Like, you're very healthy at 132 in Hashimoto's. I would
Right.
say, I'd aim for that.
I would stay there, right? So that's where I'm at for this week. And then I know we want to start talking about a little bit about boundaries and everything, but like with me having to work work out 6 days in a week, that is my morning. Like,
Mhm.
I have to wake up at 6 AM because the program has a cardio session after my push-pull, which is like she has a program for 3 days a week, thankfully. Like, I thought it was 4, but it wasn't, it's 3, so I'm good. And she pushes it right after lifting, and for me, if I'm working, there's no time
Mhm.
after work because if the weather's nice, if it's not raining, Ringo's already asking me
He's
to
like,
go out.
"Let's go."
Yep. So that's why my steps have been like over 14,000 now. And like over the winter, they've been averaging maybe 11.
Okay.
So, like, that's what I mean. Like, so my steps have gone up. You know what? I'm going to let you talk for I'm going to switch it back to you because, like, I know you have blood work to talk about. And then I'm going to write it down. But I was listening to another podcast, Lifting Lindsay, and then, like, it just blew my mind what she's doing for her deficit. So,
Okay. All right.
your turn.
Um, so I'm gonna piggyback off what you were talking about in terms of macro factor. I talked to you about this week. I cannot stand Fitbit. Fitbit is insane. So we've been
So
doing yard
crazy.
work, plus walking the dogs, plus my classes, and I've been covering extra classes and all that. So I'm getting way more cardio than I normally do. So all this work, literally for a week straight, I was sending screenshots to Shauna, even though she has access to my Fitbit. But I'm sending screenshots and it's saying, "You're overtraining. Not you're at a risk for overtraining, but you are overtraining. You need to take a day off. You need to go into recovery. You need to slow down." I must have seen slow down over and over. And it would give me not just one message, but two messages telling me to slow down. You're doing too much. La 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 la. So I finally like, okay, the one day I get, what did I say it was, Shauna? 17,000 steps. I got
Yes.
17,000 steps in the day before. I got like 140 minutes of whatever, being in my zones. The next morning, you're at a risk for undertraining to stay in your cardiovascular zone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, if I was someone that didn't have like the awareness to understand that I don't have to follow what Fitbit is telling me, I would think I was insane. Seriously, I mean,
Right.
it's telling me one thing one day, and the very next day, it's telling me I'm undertraining
The
at
total
17,000
180
steps.
opposite. And I'm like, fuck off already. Like,
Right?
I'm just trying to
Unreal.
maintain it, and like it'll drop you down so drastically. Like, you're gonna overtrain and like only hit activity level of like what is it, like 21 to fucking
Yes,
48 or whatever.
yes.
And then like me on my 30-minute walk overshoots it, and they're like, fuck you, like you need to calm down.
I know.
No.
That's what I don't get, and then yesterday, I did not hit my cardio load because I was like, I'm not gonna, I had already taught a stretching class, and then we were still doing yard work. So I didn't get my cardio load. So in other words, I didn't get my heart rate up. And so I got a spanking for that. It's just like, do you want me to recover or not? Because this is my form of recovery. This, like keeping my
Exactly.
steps below 16,000, that's recovery for me. So sorry. Oh my gosh, but you feel like you're going insane. Like what is this thing telling me? And
Mhm.
then, off of what you were saying, I've been sticking, well, I had 2 days last week that I hit in the 2000s, like 2100, 2200 for calories, just because I was like, you know what? I'm going to have the things. Went out to breakfast with a friend. This made me proud of myself, I got to say. Just going to say. Went to a really yummy restaurant and they have chicken and waffles. And
Ooh.
this is a Peruvian place. So they make
Ooh,
good chicken, right? And it was
I
fried
love
chicken,
the
but it had some like,
I don't care.
buttermilk there.
Peruvian chicken is good. Did it have the
Oh,
green sauce?
well, I didn't do the Peruvian chicken, I did the chicken and
Okay.
waffles. So but they do I
Okay.
know the green sauce for the Peruvian is to die
Yeah,
for,
yeah, yeah.
and that's really when you do the legit Peruvian chicken, it's really not terrible, especially if you get the veggies and stuff. So at any rate, I get there and I'm looking at everything on the menu, literally everything on the menu for breakfast, and nothing is under 900 calories. Nothing, like
Wow.
none of it. You could have the omelet, all these things that was still in the like 900. So I was like, what am I gonna have? I looked at the kids menu and they had a kids chicken and waffles for 560 calories. I was like, I'm doing that. And it was the perfect amount. It was like a half a Belgian, crispy, and then 2 chicken tenders, buttermilk, crispy, and they were
Yeah.
delicious. It was really, really good. Sorry, I thought
Oh,
Brian was
see?
coming in. Just the dogs. So, yeah, it was like the perfect amount. I was so happy that I had looked onto the kids menu and that they let you order from the kids menu because I would have made a scene. But yeah, it was the perfect amount. On that note, I wanted to say, because I was talking about deep fried stuff and batter, I got my numbers back. So, keeping in mind that for that whole year, I was extremely limiting the gluten. I was taking my supplements and stuff that are like selenium and making sure I was
Right.
doing all the things, and my numbers for Hashimoto's shot up without the medication. So then I go on MP thyroid. And this is just me, guys. This is not me saying that this is going to do this to everybody, but I do have Hashimoto's. So I go on the MP thyroid because I thought I want to try this to see if I feel better on it than when I took the levothyroxine. And no, I did not feel better on it. And my numbers were still in a higher range. So it was 8.7, I think, is what came back on my TSH. And all the other numbers were in the normal range, but TSH was still high. And that was on 30, the NP thyroid 30. So we decided to go back to levothyroxine. So I just started that this week and I'm hoping it levels things out. What I did find out through research and Chatty G is that a lot of people experience, now I don't know if they do this with levothyroxine as well, but on NP thyroid, higher levels of anxiety, heart racing, higher levels of stress and all that stuff. So, I'm hoping that switching back over, because I didn't have all these feelings before. I did have hot flashes still with the levothyroxine, but now I know that's just me being postmenopausal because it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether I came off, went back on, whatever. I'm still having the freaking 8 million hot flashes. But I will say that on NP, they were through the roof. I was having them throughout the day. I was having them at night. So it's super important that you pay attention to this
Mhm.
shit and say to yourself, okay, what are my other options? I'm always, I just wasted a whole fucking year trying new things, trying to see if I could do this on my own. You read all this stuff about, oh, if you have Hashimoto's, you could take care of it on your own. Just eat better and exercise and take these supplements. Well, no, not for everybody. So I got to stay on this ship for the rest of my fucking life. And that is what it is. So,
Mm,
yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. So I'm hoping that that mellows out my mind a bit because if not,
right.
I'm looking at I may have to take something to help with this anxiety. But our living room should be done finally sometime at the beginning of May. That's going
Yeah.
to help a lot with my anxiety levels because our house is
I
just
was gonna say,
jacked.
like, yeah, like, it's been, like, 4 months now.
4 months. Yep, on the
Yeah.
21st, it'll be 4 months
So,
and
like
I'm someone who can't live in chaos. I can't my admitted OCD issues, I have to have some level of cleanliness and
Mhm.
organization to function. So, yeah, I'm hoping end of May, we should be good to go, right?
I mean, it's looking fantastic. So,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
thanks.
that's gotta be, like, a nice relief as well.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll be outside more, like, you're doing the yard work and everything. It's summer
It'll come.
summer's
It'll
coming.
come.
It'll come.
And I told Brian, I said, "I need a beach trip. Our anniversary is at the end of the month." And I said,
Nice.
can we please go to the ocean?" He hates the ocean. Like, he's like, "Ah, that's great."
Yeah, some
And then he's
people.
off.
I love the
Oh, I
ocean.
love it too.
Yes.
And
Or
I'm
woods. I like that too, but,
and he's definitely more mountain woods guy. Anything nature, I'm good, but when I get around water, and it can be a big river, even our little stupid creek down here that is so cute, it's like just hearing that is nice. But to
yes.
look at the massive ocean or Lake Michigan or any of the Great Lakes, really,
Yeah.
there's something that happens to me internally that just chills me out,
Mellows.
mellows me out.
Exactly.
Yes. So anyhow,
You
yeah.
would think you were a water sign with that,
I
but you're not.
know, I know. Maybe that was in one of my other I used to do people's charts
In your
back
past
in the
lives.
day. Yeah, maybe it was in one of my other I don't even remember, it's been so long since I did it. You have your maiden sign and then your
You
other
talk about, like,
signs.
a natal chart?
Yes,
Yeah, astro
yes,
natal chart, yeah.
yes.
I
Anyway.
did mine. Yeah, like, just so that let's go to that squirrel. So, I did my astro chart, like, I had someone do it who I follow on, Instagram. Her name's Pluto's Eye, Angelina. So, she did my natal chart. You have to know exactly when and where you were born. You need the exact time, so from your birth certificate or
Mhm,
whatever. And the calendar shows, like, dates, and I always thought I was a cusp because depending on what calendar you're looking at, I'm either a Scorpio or a Libra. But when she did my, chart, I asked her, I was like, I go, the calendar always says Scorpio. She's like, yeah, we don't go by the calendar. We go by, where basically the sun was and all that other shit,
mhm.
when you were born. She's like, not only are you Libra, she's like, you are Libra to the fucking 29th degree. She's like, you are uber Libra. I was like, "Really?" I was like, but I identify as Scorpio. And
That's
she's like,
great.
"You can." She's like, "You can because Scorpio's in whatever house," and, like, I
Right.
have it on a YouTube, like, she sends me a link and she reads the whole chart or whatever, and she can get into more depth for longer and all that, but, like, she's just like, "This is where this is, and look, you have a perfect kite here," and, like, this she's like, "This is opposite of this," and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, I have to listen to it, like, fucking 500 times just to get the gist of it,
Well,
but, like, a lot of things that she said, I'm just like, "Wow."
I can give you in 5 seconds you as a Libra.
Really?
Should I do this workout? I don't know. I'm
Fuck
thinking that
off.
maybe this workout might be better. I don't know, but that one's so
Oh my
good.
god.
Wait.
That
Oh,
is
wait,
so
there's
me.
another workout. So I don't know what to do. The scales, right? Oh, I like it. Never
Rochelle's like,
mind, never mind,
"Yes,
never mind, never mind.
never mind, never mind."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to balance everything out, like, so balancing and boundaries, how about that?
Yeah, let's
Look at
talk
that
about your
segue.
boundaries this week, how well you
Yes.
did.
So, this week, there's definitely been some trials and tribulations. I'm not gonna get into it, but I set the boundary because, like I just said before, I work out in the morning. That's my time that I have to work out, and if I need to get my cardio in, that means I have to wake up earlier.
Mhm,
Usually, I'm snoozing until 6:30 AM, and I had to wake up at 6, which kinda sucks, but whatever. But, like, someone was asking me for rides, and I'm like, "It can wait until I'm ready to go to work or whatever, like, on my way to work," which
mhm,
is also gonna put me late to work because, like, I still have to eat my breakfast, I have to get ready for work, take a shower after my workout, and all this other stuff. So, like, you're making me late, but I'm gonna do it because I know you need the ride, right?
mhm.
But that's the thing, like, I'm not doing it during my workout time.
Yep,
Sorry, not sorry.
yeah,
Fucking I've given up a lot of my time for years, so I'm reclaiming this.
good girl.
You know?
And there's
And
no
sometimes
guilt.
that's what you need to do. There's
Yeah,
no guilt.
uh-uh,
No, this is me. So
yes.
and someone said on an Instagram reel, I was just watching it, like, a lot of times, like, people start to feel bad when, women go into perimenopause or menopause or whatever, because like, we're going through a lot of fucking shit. And someone
Mhm.
pointed out, like, well, maybe we just realized how much shit we've been going through and we fucking had enough.
We're done.
And we're done. So now
Yeah.
we're just gonna let you fucking have it. Like,
Mhm.
this is what exactly I think, and I'm not gonna be fucking small anymore about it. I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna fucking tell you how it is, and I can give a fuck if you wanna
Yeah,
stay or go for it. I
yeah,
don't know, you
yeah.
know? So, like, that I almost feel like maybe but Yeah, you know what? That coincides. So let's backtrack a little bit. So when I had breast cancer, so this was back in 2018, part of your regime of, trying to make sure that it doesn't happen again is that they want you to go into menopause, especially if it was hormone positive, which mine was. And again, I truly believe mine was based off of me drinking a lot. I was definitely drinking on the weekends a lot, and I was overweight. So the estrogen is stored in your fat cells. Me being as overweight as I was, I had plenty of estrogen to go around. So they wanted to put me into menopause. So they started giving me a shot called Zoladex. Okay. Zoladex is basically, I had to go to, where they get the chemo infusions to get this little fucking pill shot into my stomach once a month. The price of this fucking thing is ridiculous. Big pharma, fuck you. That's all I gotta
Right.
say. Fucking $2,000 for the shot. My copay was 200 every month.
Wow.
I did it for 2 years. So finally, my body goes into chemical menopause, right? So I was in chemical menopause. And as soon as I stopped that shot, fucking periods came right back. Fucking instantly. I thought I was fucking dying because they told me I was in menopause, but I wasn't. But like that's where so you see how that tangent
Mhm.
went around people? So that's when I started like to really identify with, oh my God, like, going into menopause, you hear all the things about like gaining weight and the menopause belly and yeah, oh girl, I had the hot flashes. I'm not even like looking forward to getting them again. I'm like, fuck, I went through that already. I did. I went
Yeah.
through it. Like where you feel the pores on the top of your
Uh-huh.
head open up and it goes
Yes.
legit feels like that. Like, and I had that already. I don't want to do it again. But
Mhm.
anyway, the whole point of the fucking story is that I started to that's when like that was one of those life-changing things of I need to do something now because like I'm on tamoxifen which causes weight gain. I'm on Zoladex which can cause weight gain because you're putting me into menopause. So it's like what am I going to do about this? And like that was like my click moment, I guess. And that's when I started losing weight. That started the journey. Like it should have started way earlier because maybe I could have prevented, having breast cancer and stuff. But that sometimes, we take a long winding road to
Right.
get to where we need to go.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you are setting the boundaries that you need to set in order to keep your health a priority because with all the stressors going on, in our personal lives and in the world and just everything, it's important to maintain, some sanity and working out does that. That's, proven time and time again
Mhm.
that it helps with stress levels, that it helps with your overall ability to handle higher loads of stress and recovery. So, you talking about,
Yes.
the shoulder wonkiness and stuff, just even that type of thing. If you were carrying more stress, women tend to, a lot of people know this, they tend to carry all their stress up here in their traps, neck, they clench, they get all up in here. Men tend to,
I try
from
to do that.
my experience, I'm not saying this is a clinical answer, but I see a lot of men carry it more in their middle thoracic part of their back. They're very stiff, Anyway, so yeah, I think it's important that you keep moving and you keep doing the things that you want to do and stay healthy and put yourself as a priority because, you're going to handle everything that much better. Then you're not, you don't have to feel any guilt for saying, I'm still here to help you, but it's on my terms and on my time schedule.
Right.
If you skipped a workout to do it, you'd be pissed, you'd be stressed, you'd feel like you failed somehow that day for the
That I was
week.
behind
You
on
were
workouts,
behind
like,
on your
like
workouts,
this
yep,
this is my goal, right? Like I had I'm gonna say PPL, but it's actually programmed as LPP.
right.
And which is legs, push, pull. And that's 6 days a week. Normally, this kind of workout is you can schedule it for 3, but hitting it twice in a week, you're gonna do 6 days a week. So, it's a little bit I found it funny because like, I prefer legs, push, pull. And then I was talking to Mark, and he's like, "Yeah, I kinda wanna do push, pull legs because that's what he's been doing." I'm like, "It's the same amount of workouts, but it really sets your week off." Like, I like doing legs, so I don't mind doing legs the first thing in the week, and he's like, "No, I'd rather do chest first." And I'm like, "That's a typical man thing, I'm sorry." And maybe it's a typical woman thing because like, we like to work the lower body, I don't know.
Right?
Like, I don't mind doing push-pull, but then, like, with the shoulder thing, I'm just like
Yeah.
or like even my legs, I'm just like, so what else did we want to hit on?
Well, first, I wanted to say sorry about the little brief pop out. I have my computer plugged in because my computer dies after 5 seconds, and I realized
You
I
need a
plugged
new
it in but
computer.
forgot to turn the freaking switch on to make that outlet work. Literally, my battery is like, "You better hurry up and plug me
Baby.
in." Anyway, sorry about that.
That's
All right,
okay.
what did you
That's
just
and then,
ask?
like, if you see I was gonna say, like, if you see me going to the back door, sometimes my dog is, like, knocking on it or trying to push it in,
"Let
so
me in,
he
mom."
might pop up too.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
know.
I
This
was
this is
gonna
how we
say
roll. It's just
this is
chaos.
now you get to see everything and, like, this is me stepping, people, I'm getting my steps in, I don't know how many I got yet. So I was gonna say lifting Lindsay. So
Yes.
she does a podcast, has great stuff on there, right? And sometimes, her husband Alex is on there. Now, they're very fit people already, okay? If you go on their Instagram, I think she's starting to do a YouTube. Very, very fit, okay? They're lean already. But they were going on a trip to Mexico. So back in February, I think it was, they decided to go on a cut. And it's just like, so some people would like look at them like, why? Like
Right.
they're already they're lean already. Like why? But like she's like this, the key word is that they think this is fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was just like, huh, talk about a fucking mindset
Yeah.
reframe, right?
Mhm.
So they think of it as fun because they like to challenge themselves. And Lindsay admitted that she is a competitive person. So she likes that like drive or whatever. So she mentioned, and obviously this is not for everybody, right? It depends on where your numbers are, but she mentioned she was at a 25% deficit. And like I said, she's already very lean.
Mhm.
But she said that she knows that she's very regimented. She knows exactly like where her macros and calories are and all this other stuff. She tracks 100%, right?
Right. Sounds like
She
Mark.
doesn't give 85%. Yeah. So she doesn't give 85%. She knows that she gives 100%. So she knew where her maintenance was already. So this is the interesting parts that I found, right? So she said her maintenance was about 2,100 calories, if I'm not mistaken. She dropped her calories down to around 1,680. So she said, so my 20% calorie deficit came from, food,
Mhm.
basically. She's like, I upped it by increasing my steps.
Oh,
And what I found interesting is that normally she gets like 8,000 steps during her maintenance.
okay.
And I'm like, so this blew my mind. I don't know. And it did. It blew my fucking mind. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're eating at maintenance around 2,100 calories and you're only getting 8,000 fucking steps?
Right. But how
Right.
old is
So
she?
I'm like,
Okay.
maybe? Ooh,
Yeah, right?
I don't
So
know.
maybe more like
Yeah.
30s? 'Cause that
Maybe 30s.
that
Yeah,
can
but she has
shift it too,
4 kids.
you know? Our
Yeah,
age fl
it
does
could.
sadly play a role
I
in
thought she was
our
talking about that she's in perimenopause, though, I don't know. So now yeah, that's a good question. So, I don't know how old she is exactly. So because of work and everything like that, she has her walking pad, but now she's trying to get more steps. And they were joking on her podcast too because they were talking about the Fitbit versus I think her husband Alex uses an Apple Watch. So he's like, "What?" He's like, "She's wearing her Fitbit in her pants because she's using the walking pad." I'm like, "Ah, see, that's why I put my Fitbit around my ankle." But she stepped her steps up to 14,000 in order to get that extra 5%.
Huh, okay.
Exactly. And now I'm like, that gave me an idea.
Mm.
But then, like, I don't know where my true maintenance is. Now, of course, Fit likes to fuck around and find out. Fucking Fitbit said, well, ChatGPT was being nice too. So, like, they both agreed that my maintenance is around 2,300 calories. Now,
Oh,
I
good.
know when I was eating 2,300 calories, I was fucking gaining. Well, I don't know. The math ain't mapping. I don't know why, but it could be also because of what kind of food you're eating too.
Yeah.
So, like Lindsay
Mhm.
was saying that she eats very clean, right? And they were also, did I mention that last week too? No, we didn't talk last week. On their podcast, I'm fucking all over the place today.
That's
They
okay.
mentioned something about food,
Uh-huh.
right? Like Alex was saying, like it's that whole thing about mindful eating.
Mhm.
Okay, like he's like when I go on a cruise, like let's say it's an all inclusive resort, or like basically it's like all those all you can eat places, right? He goes, if it's soft serve ice cream and I don't need to go back and fucking fill my bowl 3 times just because it's there.
Right.
You know what I mean? He goes, I love food. He's like, I savor food. He's like, "So when I take a bite of something and it really doesn't hit my, let's say palate or whatever,
Mhm.
he pushes it away. He doesn't feel the need to fucking finish
Right.
it or anything like that." He's like, "I'm not." He's like, "That's the difference between me and then like someone who's using food as like a dopamine hit." And I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Like he's like, "The dopamine, like if you're shoveling the food in your mouth just to fucking get that reward satisfaction of
Right.
fucking eating." He's like, "That's not how I do it." He's like, "I look at it as, yes, it's fuel for my body, but I'm enjoying what I'm eating."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Huh." Like, think about how you eat,
Yeah.
like, every day.
Chips.
Like,
Like, chips would be a good
chips,
example of that, right? You scoop
right.
out your, portion, your 1 ounce, whatever it is, how many grams, 28 grams, right,
Yeah,
of your chip of choice, and you're like, "Oh, I can just have 1 more. I'll just have 1 more," and you're looking for the chip that's that big in the bag because you just, "Oh, 1 more,"
all the
and
folded ones because 'cause they're nice and
you
crunchy.
can't
Yeah.
literally, you can't. Yeah, you can't control that, and it's not like the next one is going to be any better than the
Be
last.
better, right?
No, and so that's
No,
yeah, so that's what's crazy, but yeah, I used to talk about that when I had a weight loss challenge that I used to run, and I'd say, "Is it worth it?" If it's worth it, by all means,
is
are
it
you
worth
gonna
it?
go get the McDonald's hamburger or the smash burger down the street? You know what I mean? That's to die for. It's like you
But
pick
is it
what you're is that worth it? Is it worth it to eat the shitty Nabisco cookie versus a homemade out of the oven chocolate chip cookie?
that's I posted it to the group, that's why I'm, like, on my phone, I'm trying to, like, look for the exact wording that he used because I was just like, "Fuck." I'm like, that is me, like, how I eat or
Right.
how I don't want to eat anymore,
Mhm.
right? Like, the I totally get a dopamine hit. Let me see. All you can eat. He's saying that he savors it. I just have a bite and then I move on because it's not worth to consume the whole thing if I'm not totally enjoying it, he was saying.
Yes, that's it, because now you're adding calories in. So, it's just kind of like going through the motion at the table. It's like if you don't want it, don't eat it. We can all move away from this clear your plate kind of thing, and if it's not satisfying, don't finish it. And especially when you're
Right.
at events. Like you're at somewhere like we went to a Christmas party and I had taken some sort of cookie thing that I thought I was gonna really like, and I didn't like it, and I was like, "I'm okay with not eating it." You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit
Right.
here and eat it because I'm afraid that the host is gonna be offended. It's like, it was stuff they had catered, so it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't
It's
worth it
just
to eat
like,
it.
it wasn't worth it to eat it. Or like, when you're full and you're starting to play with your food
Yeah.
and then the fork
Yes.
accidentally meets your mouth again.
Yes.
'Cause, like,
Yes.
you're playing with your food and you're like, "Okay, I'll just have another bite or whatever." But, like, Rochelle then mentioned, because like, I was talking about, like, how a lot of times, like, they always talk about, like, chewing your food, like, don't have any distractions when you're
Be
eating, like,
present.
present exactly, so that you can know and savor your food, right? And I'm like I was thinking about that. I'm like and I want everybody like, that's your challenge this week, right? Think about how do you eat your food? I could tell you right now, my breakfast I'm usually standing up and I'm eating it. I don't know if that's good or bad. I thought I read somewhere, I don't know. But like, so I stand up and I eat my breakfast, like even my pre-workout or whatever. Then I go downstairs and I work out. I come back up and make my eggs. I'm standing again
Mhm.
and I'm eating it, right? Even the like, so right before the podcast, I'm eating a bagel. I stood up. I have not sat down yet. My lunch is usually at work, right? I'm sitting in front of a computer doing my work, eating my lunch.
Mhm.
The same thing for my dinner.
Right.
I'm at the computer. I'm eating, like, I'm just kind of like, I turn to the side, I fucking eat, go back to working. And I'm not mindfully eating because then it's just like the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, my brownie is gone. What the fuck? And then I get sad,
Yeah.
because then
You're
my
like, "I
brownie is
didn't even
gone.
remember eating it. What the hell?"
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I remember shoveling something in my mouth, but like it could have been anything, right? But
Mhm.
like, so then what's the difference? Like, if you sit and mindfully eat and actually enjoy and savor the food, like even like when I had a friend over last night for dinner, right? I was done with my fucking hamburger first because, I just kind of, I'm eating, I'm hungry at this
Mhm.
point, but like I'm eating and like, she's still like mindfully chewing or whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But like they were also talking, her and my husband were talking.
Right.
So I'm like, and I wasn't talking.
You're
It's
like,
time to eat. Okay.
"Let's eat.
I'm
Get it
kinda like
in.
one-minded.
Get it
Yeah,
in."
exactly. So it's just like, it made me realize, like, I gotta change that dopamine loop.
Yeah. Well,
you
and I
know?
think when you're somebody who has struggled with overeating and
Or being overweight, period.
yeah, and being overweight,
Yeah,
period, and you have that mindset of get it in. You gotta get it. I
get
eat
it in.
so much faster than Brian, and sometimes I think, if I was videotaping myself right now eating any meal, would I be appalled? I feel like I would be.
Right! Oh
I
my
feel
god.
like I'd be like,
No,
"Oh my god,
no.
girl, can you chew your food?" I feel like the dogs,
I'm not
like, I'm in
accepting
the
that
bowl and I'm
challenge
just
at
like,
all. Oh my god, we should do that. Maybe we should do that to each other just to be
"We
like,
should. Let's just
"Hi."
slow down and be present. Hello."
Right.
Yeah, it's just yeah,
But then it's just like, "My food's getting cold. What
I
the fuck?"
know.
I don't know.
Well, but it's that same in my opinion, it's that same mindset of, "I'm gonna go on a diet tomorrow, so I should eat all of the things today. So I should run and go get, like, 3 pieces of pie and chips and salsa and
Oh, that's
a
not me
bowl of
saying
ice
that.
cream and, some mozzarella cheese sticks with ranch." You know what I mean? Like, let
Never
me go
said
get
that
all the
before,
things,
ever.
and I'm gonna eat it all today, and then I'm gonna go on a diet
Cannot
tomorrow.
relate.
Ugh.
I cannot relate to that at all.
I will
Been
say
there, done that.
so Brian and I have not yet. It's been 2 weeks since we ended the challenge, and our little custard stand has been open, we haven't gone at all.
Ooh,
I've been buying Nick's little pint of ice cream, it's called
yes.
Nick's, and I get the vanilla.
Yep.
Then I put my tablespoon of Crazy Richard's crunchy peanut butter in there, and I stir it up, and I'm perfectly satisfied. It's a couple 100 calories.
Okay.
Most of the calories are coming from the peanut butter, but,
Yeah, yeah.
totally satisfied. So I'm like, "I am not gonna go pay the same amount." I mean, for me to buy the little Nix container is like $5, right? I got them on sale,
Yeah,
so there's like $5. That's
that's
how
not
much
bad.
it would cost me to get the ice cream at the place, and I'm getting 3 servings out of the Nix. You know what I
That
mean?
and plus it's like a third of the calories
Yeah. Like, I
than the
think the whole
fucking
thing is
custard.
250 calories, isn't it? Or 400 calories, something like
Yeah,
that for
it's,
the whole thing.
well,
It's
like, even
ridiculous.
The Halo Top mix-ins,
Yeah.
I get the chocolate cherry one or whatever. Oh my god, that's like a Ben& and Jerry's Cherry Garcia, and it's a third of the calories.
Right. So
I can
there's
eat the
ways to
whole
have it.
pint for, like, 500 calories
But you wouldn't,
as opposed to
right?
1,100.
Yeah, but you
I
wouldn't. I mean,
have in the past. I
the
wish I
old
had that
you.
back in the past,
Right? But yeah,
watching
but
Biggest
so
Loser.
the point being, like, when you look at the price of stuff, guys, what is the price of your health, right? And think
Ooh,
about how you spend. I mean, how many people that are listening go to Starbucks on the regular? And it's not just to call Starbucks out, there's other places. You pick your what. I have a friend that she loves Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. You're getting your
yeah,
fancy ass coffee.
coffee.
It's $5 minimum.
Yep.
And and so over the course, so I saw something the other day online, and it was like how much people spend on Starbucks in a year. 1 year, you could buy yourself a round trip ticket to Europe. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because we think, oh, I can't afford that. I could never afford to go do this. It's like, well, could you though? If you cut back
Yeah.
on some of the stuff that, the extra stuff that you spend money on,
But that's the
doesn't
same
get you
thing that we were
anywhere.
saying last week.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing we were saying last week with calories.
Yeah.
You gotta start thinking of it like a bank account in that
Yes.
regard or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
like, if you put in, like, that what the fuck? So let's take the Starbucks, right? Starbucks, for example, if you get one of their coffees, and I'm not talking like you get an Americano and then you put your sugar-free shit in there. You
Right.
get one of their regular coffees, 300 calories plus.
Right.
Get the frappy, forget about it. Fucking, you're
Hmm.
looking at 500, right? You do that every day, and you're talking like what, $7 a day times 7 days a week. That's $50 a week.
Hmm.
$50 a week times 52 weeks in a year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like $200 a month.
Yep.
Let's think about this, right? So, like, let's look at those calories, and then you wonder where your fucking 20-pound gain came from.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's all it was that little fucking coffee every day in a surplus.
And it's like, okay, then you're going to have people say, but that's my only treat. I don't drink or I don't do this. Okay, but you got to
Then you
offset
gotta take
that.
something else
You better
away.
do
Yeah.
something else. Then you better be walking. You better be walking while
Yep.
you're drinking that coffee or something. Like look at the stairs. When
That's what
we
I'm
go
saying.
visit Brian's mom at her facility, she's on the second floor. And we always take the stairs unless
Mhm.
we're carrying something in or have a cart that, would be awkward to carry up. We're doing the steps. And it's like, a
Absolutely.
ghost town in there. Nobody does the steps. And so it's like those little things, the joke about parking further away. Well, you just added what, 200 steps? by parking
Mhm.
furthest away, whatever it is, even maybe more, but
I do it in the wintertime
yeah,
too. Yeah, I park the furthest away at my job. Yep.
yeah, you just do it. Anyway. All right, girl. Well, listen, hey, we're gonna have to keep a close eye on time doing video now because there will be no editing to be done. So
You could do a little editing.
I don't know if I can. I don't know. I have to mess with
It'll
it. I
be
haven't done it
interesting
with
to
the
see.
video yet.
I
So,
know.
because if it pulls, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But
I was gonna say, like, I know other I've watched other podcasts, and, who
yeah,
knows? We could you keep this in or edit it out, but, like, I've seen people, like, where their faces start cutting off a little bit like that, which is okay.
yeah, like,
But
yeah.
it's just like, "Oh, you edited that part," we know.
Hmm.
But that's okay because
Yeah.
the audio sounds clean, so it's alright.
It does, as long as the audio looks good. People be like, "Did I see that?" I don't know. Most people are probably listening in their car on their way to work anyhow, so
Yes,
or on their out and
exactly.
abouts. But anyway, on that note, I think we covered some of the stuff we wanted to cover today. So we are
Sure.
moving more, we're setting boundaries, we're continuing to eat healthy, we're not throwing caution to the wind and going crazy after, finishing the
The
challenge.
challenge.
And we want to look at maintenance. So, again, guys, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You want to slowly add in calories to hit your maintenance number if you are somebody who cannot trust yourself to keep it in check. So, just be careful and watch the freaking beverages. So, we were just talking about the coffee, but guys, for the like, we didn't drink through for the most part. I mean, we had a few events that we went to, but neither one of us
Yeah,
even want it. It's not worth it. I would literally rather have a cookie than drink a beer at this point. It's just not worth it to me. So,
same,
yeah.
same.
But anyway, all right. Well, Shauna, why don't you wrap it up today?
Oh, let's see. I would say just, we look forward to talking to you guys again. If you have any, comments or if you have any suggestions about what you want us to fucking bitch about, please leave them in the comments below. And I guess we'll catch you next week.
Yes. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.